Hi everyone, welcome to our next episode of the Favoured Sons Pendragon episode. I think 25 now, so we're moving along towards the end. I have everyone with us as usual, but we have Zach as a guest this time. Yeah. Why don't we rip down the introductions and dive into game? We'll start with Thomas.
Hello, my name's Thomas. I play Sir Goratrix, and I am dreading this episode, and I'm excited about this episode. But mostly, I'm excited about this series having a name. We named it after us. That's great.
The next introduction is both a sad one. If you haven't seen previous episodes, I encourage you to jump back. If you're just getting started with this, well, just be aware that there's spoilers if you try to go backwards. We're gonna start with Mark.
All right. Hello, I'm Mark, and I played Edward of Edmiston. And today I will be playing his brother. His other brother.
From another mother.
Cadfael.
From another mother, yeah. You beat me to it.
Once squire to Edward, and now something. We'll see what happens today.
All right. And Liam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I play Sir Dallin of Durnford, and I'm gonna have a real sad time today. But it's all good because power of friendship survives.
Okay.
And I'm Zach. I am here to play Sir Jaren of Newton Manor, and his fate is a little up in the air right now. So we'll see if he how he feels about the events unfolding around him.
Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna start this scene not long after the battle. You've gathered back in and at camp, basically, because it's nighttime, right? You're going to be staying the night at the camp nearby. So it's now nighttime as we dive into this next scene. We're going to start with Goratrix and Dallin, and then we're going to add in people.
Alrighty.
I
do have a quick question before we begin.
I imagine there would be.
Do we know the fates of those we rode with?
No, not all of them. This is very much what this scene's about. So Specifically, Edward's missing. You knew that Catfile and Edith were missing before the last battle. A number of other knights, including like some of the major lords and stuff. Like you have no idea what happened to everybody. This is kind of the time to find out, I suppose. So I'll give you that. If you want to spend, I imagine you're eager for something. Is there anything either of you would have done? Like who would you inherently have been waiting
Ooh.
for, and what would you have been doing to do so?
Honestly, Goratrix is just waiting for news of his friend Edward, who he was within 30 paces of before he lost sight of him, and his own squire. In addition to that, it would be Maddox, and he needs to hand off the unconscious man dressed in human bones that he's got with him. But as it is, he's happy to wait with his unit commander. That which is Sir Dallin.
Well, I have good news for you because Sir Dallin also needs to seek out Mr. Maddox because he was our company commander, and I'm supposed to give him some banners because we crushed a couple of units, and thus we get to give him. Or we got the company banner that we got to hand to him. So that's gonna be what Dallin's gonna do first while they're waiting for the rest of the unit to regroup because things got separated. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you give me an awareness roll, both of you? See if you can find the people you're looking for. You can also test heraldry if you'd rather, because it is easier to follow banners with this many people around than it is to follow people.
I am absolutely not going to test heraldry.
I didn't think so. I think your heraldry person passed. So.
No.
Success on awareness.
Okay.
Give me a second. My page is having some issues. There we go. What were the options? It was heraldry or
awareness.
Recognize?
Awareness.
Awareness is the one. Yeah.
I do recognize, but I'm going to assume that you would pull that off anyways. Like,
we know what he looks
yeah,
like.
he's a very familiar face.
19 out of 15 failure.
Okay. To the best of Dallin's effort, you're just running into big person after big person after big person in your way, and you're really struggling to find anything. But you finally eventually bump into Goratrix. And Goratrix also seems to be looking in the direction, and I think this is right about the time that Goratrix spots Maddox's section of the camp.
Goratrix.
Good to see you.
And Dallin will just give you a hug.
Goratrix will absolutely return it. You would note that he has his charger beside him, like walking along at a canter, and it's got this like huge guy armored in bones with a battle axe just hanging off of him, just slung over the back of it. And
He was on. I assume he was on sale.
It's good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Too.
Well, I knew you were going to get out of it okay, but so close to the king. That was... Well, that's why they have rear guards, I suppose.
I lost track of you all in the retreat, so I'm glad that you made it out okay. Here, look, and Dallin will draw their sword, and you can see a couple places in it where the sword is chipped. She goes, "Look at that."
Oh.
That's from the king's axe. Made of wood, but it chipped my steel. Can you believe that?
You think it could be magic?
I subject. Who's your friend?
We didn't exchange details. He was commanding the right flank, while you and Edward were fighting kings. I got him, who I suppose it's good. He like pats his unconscious back.
Well, I can't speak for Edward, but I'm certainly empty-handed. All I've got are these chips on my sword and a little bit of blood for it, so I suppose it's a triumph nonetheless.
You have a story, and you got it. You got out with your life. It's, well, amazing. It's glorious. and I'm sure Maddox will be impressed. Have you seen Edward?
I haven't. I assumed he'd probably go to see Matic as well if he could. Have you seen Matic? I can't seem to find him.
Actually, yes. I see his head of hair just over there. Goratrix is like a full 1.5 feet taller than you, so he points in a direction over some people.
Oh, perfect. Maybe we'll find him over there then.
Let's get to it. Now, I've never actually taken ransom before. I don't know how it works, so I'm just going to give him to Maddox and see what happens.
I think he might be yours to handle, but if you present him as a gift, I'm sure that would be something. That reminds me. And Dallin, like, is Gwegon here? Gwegon or did I lose track of Gwegon?
You have Gwegon. Actually, you did lose track of him. He did not follow you in as deep as you went, right? So
perfect. Yeah. So
spoiler, he's safe, but he's not here right now. So.
I've just commandeered one of the knights that was in our unit that I was able to kind of keep track with, just to kind of carry the banners. There's 3 of them in total. There's the company banner and there's the 2 unit banners that we crushed. And Dallin will take one of the unit banners and go, "Here, this is for you, my friend."
Thank you. Goratrix like grins at this memento, this reminder, this trophy that we crushed our enemies, saw them driven before us, heard the lamentations of them, and he takes it, slings it over his shoulder, and goes, "Perhaps we'll find Edward there. But yes, man, we will be the talk of the town. And forget that, the county."
I have to admit, I'm not a particularly prideful person, but it has been nice carrying these 3 banners around. But we should relieve our friend. Yes, make sure he doesn't...
Oh, we lose Liam?
Oh, did we lose me?
You froze for just a second. We have to make sure he doesn't, and then I didn't hear the last one.
We have to make sure that he doesn't have to carry these all night. And besides, one of these banners is owed to Matic.
Of course. Oh, just this way. Oh, and also I have to talk to Merlin for magic reasons.
Good luck with that. And there's a very noticeable like hint of distaste in Dallin's voice when they say that.
And I roll intrigue. Notice that?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to not notice it.
Well, I think
you're
contesting Dallin's courtesy, if that's the case.
That would probably be wise. That is a barely success. You lucky bastard.
He just takes it as said.
You don't get to hear me talk shit about your pope. Not yet.
No, I don't notice it. I just take it as said. Good luck with that, as in, yes, I wish you luck in that thing that you said. But yes, we head towards Matic.
Okay. You have no problem reaching Matic. Pretty straightforward. He's surrounded by the 2 are with him right now. Which is Minodales and Minodos. Matic is
Minodos, guys.
Matic has taken off his armor at this point. And he looks your way and there's a smile. Goratrix.
It's Matic.
Dallin. Good to see your faces.
And you as well. How did you fare in the battle? Everything was, well, and went brilliantly.
I saw you right ahead. I wished I could join you, but my duties call me to be, well, reserved. I am a prince after all.
Of course. We did what we can. And on that note, Prince Matic Pendragon, I present to you as commander of a unit within your company, this banner taken from a crushed enemy company. it is yours to do with as you wish.
Of course. Where's Edward?
Dallin will.
At this, Goratrix. Yeah.
Yeah, Dallin will
Sorry,
look
you
at
go.
Goratrix.
At this, Goratrix frowns slightly. He figured, if anywhere, Edward would have gotten here and talked to Maddox beforehand, and says, "I'm not certain. We lost sight of him as the enemy army retreated and we pulled back from their rear. But I haven't seen him. I was quite hoping that you would have."
We thought he might have been with you.
No.
Regardless, Goratrix pipes up,
Yeah,
optimism
I think
leaking into his voice.
I think Maddox is like, I'm sure he's fine.
Of course.
Exactly. He's one of the best swordsmen I know. He'll be fine.
How seems the... Sorry. It seems the battle fared pretty well, overall. Would you count this as a success?
I would, yes. It's actually quite remarkable what the Merlin has done for us here, giving us this opportunity.
Absolutely. I've been on the receiving end of hostile magics, with the fog making us relive bad memories and stuff when we invaded Summerlin. But this was very good. I felt his energy suffusing me. Also, I got this guy, and he's going to off the enemy commander. Now, Goratrix doesn't know him because he's bad at heraldry and recognize, but I imagine someone better trained would recognize him as a higher up. You said last episode the equivalent of Sir Bellius, but for the enemy commander.
Right? Maddox grunts. And at the moment you know he gets slung forward, the two basically go and hold their blades to him, just because he's too close to Maddox for comfort, right? At this point, they're actually interrupted. The two, a messenger comes their way. You can both test awareness if you want to overhear this.
I will absolutely try.
Fuck yeah.
Success.
9 out of 15. Yeah, success for both of us.
They approach the messenger, and the two look at him and say, "What is it?" He says, "Well, I was told to send news your way." It's a squire, right? And he looks really hesitant. Just relaying from the king that Sir Monivel, the one, he didn't make it. So this is the one versus the two and the three, versus the duo and the trio. Hello, welcome, Raid. Thanks for joining.
Hello, darling friends.
Lovely.
So there's a bit of a somber moment in Maddox's face as he kind of overhears this as well, and the two are completely changing attention. It's about this time that some more familiar faces ride in. You see, if you recall, the Saxon mercenary Sir Blackwin, who rides for Newton Manor, Sir Merrick, who looks injured as well, and a third horse with a body on it, barely hanging his head, very injured, is Sir Jaren.
Dallin will, kind of jog over to help Jaren off their horse, understanding that it might be a pride thing. They're still going to make the attempt.
Yeah. With a beeline towards the person he knows, he will push the semi-unconscious body of Rattleshirt down as he goes over to Sir Jaren.
Sir Jaren.
One of the Newton Manor guys that he likes.
What of one?
Yeah, one of one.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably. Sir Jaren, let's get you off that. Seems you didn't fare so well in this one, eh?
Sir Jaren is more or less leaning on the horse than keeping himself up in the saddle. He does try to straighten a little bit as attention's brought to him. He smiles, and it's more or less bloody mouth instead of teeth. And he kind of grunts as he'll take the hand down because it is very clear that he's going to fall off without the help. But he'll say, "We fought well, my uncle and Blackwin, and we lost track of you three." And he blinks. One of his eyes is nearly swollen shut. But he blinks more or less with his other eye as he sees two and not three. Looks a little confused.
Dallin kind of smiles and, like, with their arm gestures towards the banners that are planted outside. He goes, "Look, I'd say we fared pretty well ourselves, though we even came close to slaying King Octa himself. Though we did force ourselves to make the retreat in the end. It was a fine battle."
They got their act together at the very last moment, enough to save the lives of their leadership. But yes, don't worry. No matter what wounds you might bear, I know that the foes who gave them to you are just as bad, if not far worse, and dead. But yes, we haven't yet found Edward, but I'm sure he will return at some point. It was chaos in the melee at the last moment.
We pushed a little too far, and towards the end there, we were almost fighting 3 men to 1. Even in a retreating army, I didn't like those odds.
Mm.
And the king and Sir Jaren, he kind of hangs on King Octa, and a bit of jealousy clear in his eyes. He grits his teeth and says, we tried to get close to whichever cowards were running this army, but the ranks closed in, couldn't catch up with all of you, and I'm not sure how many banners we got. Did we get banners, Uncle? And Sir Jaren turns to Merrick, and he doesn't even really wait for an answer. He shrugs a shoulder barely and says, I wasn't looking for cloth. Just wanted to see how many bodies I could pile in front of me.
Of course. So forgive me. I did not mean to brag. I'm only a little amped, I suppose, from the conflict.
Time for official bragging will come later, when people ask us about these in feasts. Speaking of, I would love to know the people you slew. I faced many of the people who screamed, Wotan, Wotan, like that means something to me, but they threw so many javelins at my face.
I did too. Those blue cloaks they wore were so... it doesn't seem like it provided much value, but they were fine fighters.
Nothing compared to an armored knight. Well, actually, I won't say that. They hurt me a lot. But they were very good, but I was better.
We're going to give sorry. Oh, that's a sting. We're going to give Goratrix an awareness test here real quick.
I mean, I can make an awareness test.
All right.
On balance, I'm expecting to fail this. 15, failure.
Okay. You swear just a little too late. You swear that you saw Merlin, like just in the distance, kind of walking towards the trees.
Oh, no. Okay, he vanished. I had been meaning to speak to them. Do you guys mind if I go into the deep, dark forest where magic was once cast and occult rituals were performed so I, can ask some questions?
Perhaps just be mindful, Gortrix. And when you get back, we should discuss what might happen if Cadfael isn't found. After all, I know Edward was relying on him to circumvent your duel.
Yes. I am sure that Cadfael too is fine. The Saxons, no matter their nature, they are not the sort to either A, take prisoners with them on a retreat, or B, kill them because they were unable to. At least, I should hope not. I will be right back. And Gortrix is going to try and find Merlin after he disappeared enigmatically into the forest.
Okay. We're going to pause on that for a moment. And
Absolutely.
at this point, Maddox is moving over with a few of his men to discuss the ranks of things. And I think this is where Cadfael is going to enter, just as Gortrix breaks off. So it's Dallin and Jaren here. Cadfael, I'm assuming, yeah, I think we're going to make this call. Cadfael is carrying or guiding rather Edward's horse with Edward's body slung over it effectively.
All right. Cadfael is essentially trudging through the mud at this point, barely able to stand on his feet as he's using every part of his will and his anger and his sadness to push himself beyond his limit. As he begins to move forward, he raises his hand as if to call out. However, the tears drenching his face and the hoarseness of his voice makes him unable to call out or scream. Just raising his hands silently, trying to grab the attention of whoever he can. As he stumbles forward, with the horse pulling at his side.
Bob, I go ahead. I went ahead and took the initiative. I rolled an awareness check and I got a critical.
Oh yeah, yeah. You notice this, and you can tell it's Edward for sure right away. You know it's Edward's horse, and you know it's Edward.
Dallin is right in the process of like trying to show the sword with the chips in it to Jaren. When they see it, and they drop the sword in the mud immediately and actually step on it in the process of running towards Cadfael. They move up to Cadfael and they go, "Cadfael, are you? Oh my god!" And they just walk past Cadfael.
Need help. Someone help him, please.
And Dallin will approach Edward and kind of like touch the back of his neck. How does he look?
You can give me a first aid test.
Oh dear. That is a 4 out of 10 success.
It's too late. You know that for sure.
Jaren is hobbling over, seeing as the sword that was very cool just got stepped on. Clearly, something more important is happening over here. He hobbles over, and he looks towards the man slung over the horse, and he says, "I think the physicians that I was with, we brought some from Newton Manor. We could, if we want to lead him there."
Dallin just takes a step back, almost in shock, and just stares for a moment and goes, "Cadfael, would you..."
We have to help him. We need...
It's all right, boy. Come here, look at me. It's all right. I need you to breathe. Get yourself some water, and then as soon as you can, go find Maddox. All right, I'll take care of the surgeon.
Okay.
Okay, good. Good. You did good, boy. Go on.
That he immediately turns around and begins to head off to try and find the prince.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna cut over to Thomas real quick with Merlin. Go ahead and test awareness, or no, hunting, because you're trying to track him. Right? In the woods effectively. And you're also going to test spiritual.
All right. Let's go with spiritual first. Failure on spiritual.
Yeah.
Failure on hunting. As is mostly the case, Goratrix is ignorant. In one specific event, blissfully. In this, he's just, where did he go?
With this, you hear a familiar voice behind you, just past the little stream that you walked past. Is there something you're looking for, my boy?
A druid. He will turn, like, embarrassed to have walked past the Merlin. And he says, yes, I was looking for you.
Looking for me? Well, you've found me. So what is it you seek?
I wanted to say two things. One, to thank you for your help in this battle. And without it, I don't know what would have happened. It would have been an utter rout. And another, to mention that Sir Einion traffics with forces most dark. I found him drawing sigils on trees, the sign of old things.
Go ahead and test.
They were.
Give me an intrigue test.
Okay.
I believe in you, buddy.
Come on.
This time it's not just the ghost of your parents. it's Dallin too. Please,
The
you got
ghost of
this.
Dallin. The ghost of Dallin. The ghost of Dallin just. I just hear good luck with that.
You notice there seems to be an irritation to him, but it's hard for Goratrix to determine what exactly it is.
Yeah.
I think you just interpret it as him being short with you. And he says, I don't have time for that right now. I must go.
Really? I mean, the last time that happened, there was this whole, like, cult business. But if, as you say, I drew it. Should I do anything about it? Should I tell the king?
The king. This king. He barely believes that which can be seen. You're going to tell him about something that he can't see. No, that'll do you no good. If it is trouble that you feel must be dealt with, then you'll have to deal with it. With that, you're getting a very different Merlin, and so if you're experiencing like what the hell moment, that's for your character too. This is a different response.
I like to think that with that failed intrigue roll, a smarter person would look deeper into it. A smarter person would go, that's an odd thing to hear from one of the king's closest advisors, and also, well, that doesn't really answer my question. But Goratrix goes, well, I was going to deal with it anyway. And so he gives a grateful bow to the head of his religion that he barely understands. Says, thank you again, Merlin.
And with that, he nods your way, and then he turns to walk again. And give me an awareness test.
Absolutely. Let me just say that 5 minutes later, if Goratrix had waited a single minute longer, this conversation would have been so much different. I fail awareness again. This is not a good night for him.
Damn golden retriever.
You hear you don't hear his muttering entirely, but you hear the name Edward as he's walking away. Doesn't make sense to you.
Mhm.
Like come from Merlin's mouth. He says something, 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 Edward.
Like head snapping, but what about Edward?
And with that, yeah, he doesn't turn. He continues.
That's odd. She has been found. No matter. All right. Deal with it myself. Gardtrix will give a nod just to the empty forest, and then he will return back to camp, seek out Sir Dallin. He didn't quite get the answers that he wanted, but he's been given a semi-quest.
Okay. We're going to go back to, I think, Dallin at this point. Is there anything else, Dallin, that you were after here? No.
Did you mean Gortrix?
No.
Oh, Dallin.
Yeah, we're cutting the camera back to Dallin.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because so at this point, Cadfael's moved on to go find Matic, and I think it's Dallin and perhaps Jaren, though Jaren's likely to need tending to very quickly here.
Dallin has gotten Edward off of the horse and laid him down as gently as possible. They've flagged one of the knights to get a doctor, but not for Edward, for Jaren. And they just like kind of sit there and they wait, just quietly, and their eyes don't really leave Edward. They do a little bit of straightening on his hair, but they just wait.
Jaren, who has kind of propped himself up against something, perhaps a crate or a horse or something that he can just sort of lean on. He looks a little confused as he's staring at Edward, who he now recognizes. He didn't really know who Cadfael was and didn't piece the two together. But now it's hitting him. But he's more confused. His face is kind of screwed up, more from the fighting, but just confusion. He shakes his head and his hair waves side to side as he does, and he mumbles something. It eventually becomes audible as he looks to Dallin. What happened? I thought I saw. We were trailing behind your men, all three of you. I could see once again the Salisbury Knights charging in head first, and we were doing well. This isn't supposed to happen.
No. You're wrong, Jaren. This was exactly what was supposed to happen. I should have... Oh, God. Did you know that he advocated for putting me in charge of the unit? He said if anybody was likely to get us all home, it was me. Oh, God.
Jaren raises an eyebrow to that, but looks back towards Edward. He shakes his head again. Well, it looks like you did get everyone out of there.
Is that supposed to be funny?
funny.
There's a moment of like anger in Dallin's eyes, and then like Jaren responds with no understanding, and I think Dallin actually laughs just for a moment, just like one exhale of a laugh, and then no, of course not.
Jaren's like blinks. He's not sure what just happened. he's still a little lost.
At this point, Gwigon can be found. Dallin, approaching you. He rides in swiftly, having spotted you. Oh, good. Oh, good. You made it. And then he's about to continue talking, and then he sees Edward, and he stops. And he sees Dallin over Edward, and he just kind of pauses.
Don't look away, boy. This is the truth of war. I'm glad to see that you're all right.
He just nods and kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, but doesn't say anything. We're going to cut back real quick to Goratrix before we go to Catfile. Goratrix, give me. You're gonna test awareness again. We'll do another awareness test.
So far, I think I've been hitting 50-50, so I'm due for an upswing.
Hey, there you go.
A critical.
You spy someone being escorted to the banners of Salisbury in a lot of pain, and kind of through the night there's like this brief glint of moonlight on their skin. They just hit it perfectly, and you see it's Roderick, and he's being helped by two figures that are pulling him towards his tent, clearly wounded.
Got you. Does it look like he's taken care of? Would it be expected of a knight to tend to his lord, or?
Not necessarily. You're not sure exactly who's back at camp or whether or not it's under control. So it depends on if Goratrix. I would say if Goratrix had another plan, then he wouldn't have to do that for sure. I think it's all up to whether or not Goratrix had something more pressing.
Goratrix. God, fate conspires to keep Goratrix completely dumb. Goratrix doesn't know that at the moment Edward is being cradled in Dalen's arms, and that the Favoured Sons is now at 66% efficiency. So Goratrix is going to go to his lord, and just with part concern in his eyes, but otherwise just unwavering pride at the battle that had just been done. His lord's safe, his prince is safe, his king's probably fine. All he has to do is find his squires and his friend. And
well, there's more good news to that, because one of the two figures that's pulling in Count Roderick is Edith.
Edith!
He, as they lower Roderick to the ground because they've reached the camp, he turns and looks in the direction, hearing your voice.
I lost sight of you in the battle. How fare you? Are you all right?
Oh, yes, I'm okay. It took me a while to find you. Because remember that you didn't lose track of him. You lost track of him in the battle before this, right?
Yeah, I lost track of him before everything happened. I lost track of him in the daytime,
the first
and
fight.
It's now 3 a.m.
Yeah. I tried to find you.
I'm so glad to see you.
It took me a while. I heard the battle at night, and I came and I couldn't find you, so I found Count Roderick, and he was wounded, and there were others around him. I got him out of there.
Well done, Edith. Because that is A, above and beyond for anyone, and B, above and beyond for a squire. There is so much pride in Goratrix's face as he walks up, almost heedless of like Roderick, who's been put down, and just like picks up Edith. You did very well, and I'm so sorry.
Well, likewise. Is everyone all right? And I think with that, we're gonna. Is there anything else you wanted to say? If not, I think that's a good camera turn. We're gonna go to Cadfile with that.
I think that's a good camera switch.
Okay. All right, Cadfile, and then I promise we'll give you your chance, Goratrix, with everything with Edward. So we'll
Indeed.
probably close
I
this
think
scene
it's
with
funny
that.
for Goratrix to be the last person to know.
Yeah. He's energetic, right? And he's following around. He's like, I got to cross this off the list and this off the list before you know it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Cadfile, you find Matic, who you recognize because you've certainly been around him plenty. He's gathered with his father and Bellius right now.
Cadfile just kind of makes his way up, too distressed to really register that the king is there. He just goes, Prince Matic, it's Edward. He's really injured. He needs help. Please.
With that, one of the two speaks up and says, "Well, then send him to his squire, or the first aid tents. This is the prince you speak to." And Matic looks, in a rare moment of compassion from Matic, he looks to the other two and says, "Quiet. This is the squire of my friend." Why didn't you lead me to him?
Let's wake up, please. Quickly. I don't want to lose him.
Yeah. With that, he taps Cadfile's shoulder and says, "All right, let's go." And then Matic calls for his own squire as well, which he has like 4. So when you can outfit more than one, I think in fact in 6th edition they're gonna make outfitting your squire part of whether or not you can have one. So you have a horse, for example, that you can give them so they can keep up with you, or, all that stuff. So with that, I think we're gonna bring everyone together, but probably a couple at a time. So we're gonna start with Zach. Do you want to still be here with Jaren, or would Jaren have gone off at this point to his tent to look after things?
I think he would still be here.
Yeah.
All
right. I think
probably like plop down onto the ground at this point, but yeah.
I think okay. So Dallin and Jaren, in enters Cadfile and Matic, and then in enters Goratrix, not Cadfile and Matic yet. Yeah. So
my friends, Count Roderick still lives and saved by my squire. He's got like Edith with him.
Dallin just looks at Goratrix.
And in that moment, all of that joy and energy and like adrenaline high after the battle, time seems to stand still for him as his eyes go from the faces of his friends and brothers in arms and turn to the face of his friend and brother in arms that is no longer. Yes, exactly, fine. That is just lying there in Sir Dalen's arms, and he falls completely silent as he moves so fast for his large size, right next to Sir Dalen and Sir Edward. He goes, "My God, is he all right?"
No, he's gone.
It seems that he doesn't believe you as he reaches out with his hand to feel the face of Edward, feels too cold to try and find some kind of pulse in his chainmail-covered wrist, in his neck, and he hasn't seen Edward without... he hasn't seen Edward blank before, at least not like this, and it looks strange. So he goes, No, it couldn't be. Everything was going so well. I...
Apparently, when we retreated, he refused the call.
I knew it. I knew I should have stayed. I'm sorry, Dalen. Actually, he won't say Dalen. I'm sorry, Elizabeth.
Dalen looks at Goratrix with rage in their eyes. You're sorry? What gives you the right to be sorry? Goratrix, what have you ever done to deserve being sorry?
And I think
I'm gonna
interrupt that with in enters Cadfile and the prince.
He needs help. He needs medical attention. He needs something.
I think Maddox's gonna look at the two of you and say, "What's going on? Why isn't he being tended?" And he kind of looks down and looks at Edward.
Dalen is like mid-raising voice with Goratrix, and they stop, catch themselves, just shoot Goratrix a look like, "We'll talk about this later," and then turns to Maddox and just shakes their head.
Maddox looks to Cadfile and says, "Boy, why don't you go retrieve the others for me? There's more squires. We'll need 3 more.
Okay.
Quickly.
He needs...
Quickly.
Yes, sir. That he immediately goes.
He'll need to see at some point, Maddox.
How did he die?"
As far as we can tell, he didn't retreat when we did. He's got a few wounds. Looks like he was overwhelmed.
And if you recall, Maddox has lost his entire honor guard at this point already. All the people that weren't you, that were his other friends. And he just looks down. He says, "It will be hard to celebrate."
Celebrate. He just touches Edward's face again. It was the king that did it. The giant one. I saw him even 100 paces away.
Yosa.
That's why I'm sorry, Dalen. I should have stayed. I should have fought along with him if I were faster. It
wasn't your responsibility. It was mine. And just to end the conversation, because Dalen doesn't want to have it in front of everybody, Dalen will stand and like walk to Maddox, put a hand on their shoulder, and then just leave. Like they've said what they thought needs to be done for Cadfile. They're out.
I think that's a good time to transition. Like we could leave it all on the table, but I think we've beaten a dead horse there a bit. The only thing
Do you beat
maybe
a dead Edward?
yeah, I think the only thing that's worth noting is how I don't think we have to go over the exact detail, but how does Cadfael find out? Like, how does he end up learning? Does anyone actually bring him the news, or is he just left to see that Edward is not moving by the end? Like, because right now he's still kind of in that disillusioned state of trying to get help.
I will say 100% that Goratrix doesn't want someone to discover their brother dead on their own.
Yeah.
Doesn't want Cadfael to come back and just see the corpse and not understand why he isn't being helped. So Goratrix will try. He feels he owes it to his friend. Also because he doesn't know what else there is to do. There's nothing to fight, nothing to kill. King Eosa's far and away at the moment.
Test courtesy for me and just don't fumble.
Courtesy's not my thing, man.
Yeah, no, but I said just don't fumble. Like if you
don't
fail,
fumble.
yeah.
Your brother's dead.
Yeah, if you fail, it's Goratrix's.
How do you feel about less siblings?
Cheer up, he's in that place I don't believe in.
Yeah.
Isn't that good for you?
He's in that great big farm in the sky or whatever it is you tell your people.
Yeah.
Whatever you like. Failure, but not a fumble.
I think probably it's just your ability to convey things in a way that was really touching was not done well, but you didn't like butcher it, right? It's almost like the Goratrix standard is what you get, right?
Exactly.
But it's
exactly.
clear. Yeah. So and we'll
It's not poetry, but it's information.
As not to go into an overwhelming amount of melodrama, we'll wrap that scene there. I'm gonna give you guys each an intrigue and a battle test, and before we skip scene to Ibericum.
A what test?
Intrigue and then a battle. By the way, how's my audio? Because I added a couple of effects.
It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds
It's probably just our connection because I live in Australia, where the internet is a myth.
Indeed. I only know that because you told me multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh. Is Cadfael also making these, or?
Yeah, sure.
Is Edward making these?
No, Cadfael.
He's making
Edward
them.
rises up and goes, "The rumors are dire."
I see.
You heard about the high elves?
Disgusting creatures.
Oh, that's such a bummer of a failure. All right,
Oh,
success on the
God.
battle and an 18 out of 17 intrigue failure.
Kind of makes sense. Dylan's probably not in the mood for rumors and gossip right now.
I think if right now, while they're taking their walk, if anybody so much as tries to talk to them, they're getting a harsh glare.
Yeah. So anyone who passed battle, you learn that. I'm just going to give you a couple of pieces here. Duke Ulfius is kind of renowned for being a major turning point in the battle. He completely remember there were 3 lead hosts, I guess. I forget, the battalions maybe is what they were.
Battalions,
in the army. He led one of the 3 battalions. His battalion completely demolished the other battalion they were facing. Like completely routed it.
Very good.
So Ulfius is being honored as a hero. You learn that Edith got out Count Roderick, which is a big thing.
Hell yeah.
So those are the battle. And then Blackwind, who's just a mercenary knight, did manage to lead the spare of Newton Manor out from an otherwise very dangerous encounter with the rear guard. So,
Atta guy, atta good boy. And then Bellius's unit, or Bellius's battalion, our battalion, we also did well, but not quite as well as Ulfius. Yeah.
Yeah, Bellius didn't crush it, right? Bellius did okay. He's also unwounded. Roderick is wounded, but he'll survive. But
Thank God.
He did suffer a wound. And then as far as intrigue, anyone that rolled that, some of you already overheard it, but the one, Monivel, died. So he passed in battle. Edward's, I wouldn't say rival, that would be Jareth, but the other one trying to court Ira, the drunken lout that Edward told off, he
You
died.
better be dead.
He died in the battle.
What a bummer for her, man. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, both of her suitors.
And then her Ira's uncle, who's not he's not a problem. Like he's not a competent fighter. Ira's what was his name? Dulois, not to be confused with Gorlois, right? Dulois from Silchester. He actually performed like an honorable. He was honored in battle, so he did something very impressive in the battle. You're not certain what it is, but he's being honored. He was on Ulfius's ranks. Yeah, and that's about it. You also learn that in general, and you'll see this as you're riding. So we're going to be picking up what you haven't ridden for most of the morning. So camp would have ended the following morning. You're riding. You notice how small. Anyone who succeeded at battle, Uther's army is about 1/3 the size of. Remember, you rode through a magical tunnel where you weren't able to get the grand scale. But now that you're back in the middle of the morning, bright sun overhead, you get to see the size of Uther's host. It's about 1/3 of what you came up here with.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Just decimated, mostly in that first battle, right?
Absolutely. Because just the deaths alone, not even counting the ones that routed and are now, being looked for. I think with Edward's death, Goratrix really feels the whole massive losses things. Otherwise, he'd be talking with his friends, talking about the battle, and mourning the lost, but it wasn't really people that he knew very well. Now there's a whole chunk of people from his homeland just gone.
So we're going to cut over to the map, and I'm going to show you kind of what you see and where you folks are now. Just do that both on stream and here. There you go. So as you ride towards Buricum, you begin to cross over, and a couple of more points. You're expecting Buricum to be sieged because that's what you were coming up to relieve in the first place, right? Was the siege of Buricum. But you see the waste of what looks like a battle. And it looks like Buricum's victorious. You see heraldry, 2 major flags hung outside of the walled city. Why don't we go ahead and just do a quick heraldry test for all of you to see if any of you can recognize this heraldry that's here.
And based on the battle stuff, does it look like they won the fight without our help, like entirely?
It would. I mean, you guys have a high enough battle. You guys drew away the host that they were supposed to be facing, right? So not really.
All right. So we at least made a difference.
Oh,
that's
you would
helpful.
Anticipate. Yeah. It's not that sort of thing. It's more like there's no more trouble, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Once again, the Idmistons come through with heraldry.
It's true. Everybody else failed except for me, who got a fumble, and Cadfile got a success.
Okay. I don't want to do anything with the fumble that time, so we're just going to say that it's going to, the next time you heraldry, you're going to mark it at a -5. That's all.
Dallin's just not making many friends right now.
And I will quickly show. So this is what the walled city looks like. Oh, you guys probably can't see it. It's on stream.
I can see it on the stream though.
Yeah. But it's basically a major fortification. It's definitely like, it's almost more impressive than London, really, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that succeeded, you see two heraldry. One is a purple cross that some of you will remember from. I think all of you, safe to remember, you had visitors at the royal court when the King of Abericum came to request aid from Uther. Right, he sent two representatives at one of the feasts you guys were in.
When the tiny man was knighted.
Yeah, that purple cross banner is hung here, and that's what you would come to expect. But there's also a plain white banner with a red square in the. I can't remember what the heraldry is called, but it's like that red square in the corner. So it's just a plain argent shield, and then a simple red cross. All right, and you see that most of the host that's in the cities you ride through is bearing one of the two flags. We're going to move right away to the next scene. I still got the music set up as crickets. Let me change that. It's making me tired. Okay, 1 sec. We're gonna cut into a 1-round feast. Okay, so it's just an opportunity for you to figure out what's going on here. Oh no, I didn't clean this up. I thought we were good because we haven't used feast cards for a while.
The one, he's back. He's returned.
Yeah.
He's zombie.
He has risen.
Bad news for you guys. Yeah, he's back. 1 sec.
Why is that bad news, Bob? Why would that be bad news?
Oh no, the sign of the Yellow King is engraved in his forehead. This is going to be a long night.
Fuck again.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask for a couple minute break here. We're just gonna put it on pause. It'll give me a second to change scenes. So I'm just gonna mute us and cut over to the loading page, and we'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Roger Dodger.
All right, we are back. Time to dive in where we left off. So we are beginning, and you're not near or at the salt. Oh. And I also don't have Jaren on here, but we'll fix those things real quick. We got the rest of it. First thing you're all gonna do is you're gonna test your appearance to see where you land. You'll note that the Centurion King is here, King Uther is here, and there's another crowned king that sits with them. He seems to be the one with the simple white coat of arms with the red square in it.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a young lad.
He is young. He looks to be a teenager.
What the fuck?
Despite our troubles, I guess it makes sense that we'll be near the salt. We did do a lot of heroic stuff.
I mean, one of us fought a king, and the other two were right up there with them.
With all of our tears, we should have our own salt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Really?
So, Dallin, Jaren, Goratrix, and then, Cadfile gets to sit on the floor for this.
He's on the floor.
Yeah.
We'll make sure the food gets to him.
Yeah. Well, I think for now, Jaren's going. I mean, is someone going to look after Cadfile? I feel like someone would be looking after Cadfile. At this point.
Absolutely. Are you kidding
100%.
me?
Yeah, so we'll just have him tag along with one of you through each of the scenes. We'll just have to decide like who he's with at the beginning of each round, and we'll go from there. So are you all above the soul? You are, aren't you? All three of you?
Above, I don't know about
near
that.
the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd all be near, I think.
Okay.
Hold on. Lily's biting my headphone cords. Just give me a quick sec.
No worries. I'm going to quickly
Good kitty.
grab Cadfile too, because I forgot to cut him over.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Also, what's the roll for a corpse? Is it like a -5 to appearance?
Depends on how long.
We
You'd
prop you up and
yeah.
put you in your armor.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's propped up next to them, just landing.
We can do this one of two ways. A, weekend at Bernie's. B,
Yeah, I was about to say.
you'd look you look a lot like many members of the British royal family already. So just give it a couple days.
What if we put Cadfile in his armor? Does that mean he gets to sit with us at the lunch table?
No.
Think of what that would do to your psychological state. You're wearing the clothes that your brother died in.
Like yesterday, too.
Yeah, time to clean it. So stained in blood.
Yeah, it's not been long. It's not been long. Okay, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and dive right in. So this is a one-round feast. It can begin with any additional info that you guys want clarification for. Since it's only one round, you're not going to be able to discover things next round. Is there anything you want to know about the folks who are present?
Only one thing, and it's about the folks that aren't present.
Okay.
What's the deal with the Duke of Cornwall, and why hasn't he been at any battle ever?
I don't know.
I will look into this.
If you want to look into the more immediately relevant things.
The three of you can strategize if you want. Like, you can do this in character for a second.
Yeah.
Since you only got one round.
Yeah, while we're like moving up to the feast down, we'll be like, Gortrix,
Dylan,
is there anything you'd like me to look into while we're at the feast?
there is but one thing. It's something that's been giving me pause ever since that ambush. How did they know we were coming? More importantly, how did the Duke of Cornwall as ever, know not to be here. I do not like to doubt my own countrymen, but it's getting tiresome and we've lost a lot of people because of it. I feel there may be conspiracy in this. But that said, I also kind of want to know who that guy is. And he gestures with his head to the guy sitting next to King Uther, the red square man. But the Cornish have been lacking in battlefield support for a good long while.
And Jaren, anything that interests you?
Sir Jaren kind of looks around. He's not one for feasts, and it's obvious he doesn't go to ones that he doesn't have to. He looks around. He still has a limp. He grunts and shrugs a shoulder. I want to know when the next time we're going to be fighting Saxons, and I also want to know why we were ambushed when we thought we were told that we were going to have our whole army to fight these Saxons.
Seems like that might be the priority. And Dallin will turn to Cadfile, little baby Cadfile. How about you, lad? Anything you wish to know?
Just here to help you, Sir Zap, whenever you need me. So I can fetch you some more wine.
You're not here to serve tonight, Cadfile. Okay?
You're here. And Jaren looks over to Cadfile and gives a smile, but it's not like a nice smile. It's like a mischievous, grim smile, and says, "You're here. See all these people. Hopefully, we'll get a plan together so we can slaughter us some Saxons.
And
We'll see which ones actually come together."
And
Certainly wouldn't mind that.
good. Keep that focus then, boy. Alright?
Alright.
And indeed, should you need anything, it is we who will be here for you. Because, like, when you're on the floor, you barely get any food at all. So I'm going to bring you some pig legs.
I've been
Alright.
doing this for quite a while, but never mind.
I know.
The other dukes are all here minus Gorlois, too, by the way. They would also be sitting above the sill. I'm not gonna. Maybe I will. While you guys are pulling cards and stuff, I might slide them on. But yeah, the other.
I know
dukes
who
are-
I want to talk to, for sure.
Okay.
I think I have my plan.
The mood is certainly more. There seems to be. Actually, why don't all three of you test intrigue real quick? I'll give you a freebie on intrigue, just for overall mood, and we'll give. I mean, Cadfile as well. Makes sense.
You spoil me, Bob. Intrigue.
Oh,
It's close.
so close.
Seems
Well-
Edward's luck lives on.
It's an
a
Idmiston staple.
that is a Goratrix and Dallin success.
Goratrix's parents are talking to him in his head again. No, it's good. They help him. You could have saved him if you were faster. Also, take a look at this.
So the intrigue with the Knights from Logris, or the mood from the Knights of Logris, is very somber. You figure that most of the knights here probably lost good friends, brothers, fathers. You know, it was an ugly one. The other knights that are here, the knights and ladies that are here, it's more victorious. Like they have a much more brutal, like, you know, they're not facing the same pain that you guys are right now. They seem to be more high spirits. And The three kings are basically seated together and in discussion. And with that, let's go ahead and start this. We'll start with Goratrix.
Feast time, feast time.
Feast time, feast time.
I think you're muted, Thomas.
Oh, I didn't.
Thomas
Sorry
is doing
about
it?
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I know, it's always me.
Yeah. Normally I can't shut up. But normally,
I didn't mean that.
no, it's all good.
Yeah.
Goratrix isn't the best at intrigue. He's not exactly in a feastly mood, but what does Dalen think? Should Goratrix enjoy himself, or should Goratrix try and figure something out with his 45% chance to get something?
I have some bad news for you. I think because Dallin and Goratrix haven't had an opportunity to talk yet, like solidly, I don't think Dallin's really speaking to Goratrix right now. So you are on your own, buddy.
Okay, absolutely. Oh no. In that case, Goratrix is going to try and find out what he can about Duke Gorlois and what the general mood, particularly amongst those Knights of Logris, are. Because this isn't the first time, as Goratrix said. Been hung out to dry.
Anywhere in particular you're targeting this conversation? Like, what type of knights and where you're aiming this at?
Generally Goratrix's peers, and failing that, or rather above that, Count Roderick.
Okay. Sure. I think that's intrigue right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Watch me fumble this.
The worst part
Oh,
is
never mind.
Yeah, the worst part is Lady
Hero!
Violet isn't here, so that would be your easy
Yes.
go-to, right?
Yeah, Lady Violet would be perfect there. Goratrix would have just come up and go, I apologize for absolutely everything, even the things that I'm not aware of. By the way.
Does Elad make sense?
Yes, Elad is someone that Goratrix knows and respects,
Okay.
and he would generally know the answers.
Okay, so you find Elad. We can play this out. It's going to play out with a positive, but I do want to hear what Goratrix has to say, because that could always change what we get out of this. So
Indeed.
why don't we start with that? As you encounter Elad.
Goratrix is there's no other word for it. He's schmoozing. With a social grace and deftness that often eludes him. He's been making his way closer and closer. But as Sir Lad turns to him, Goratrix goes, Sir Lad, it's good to see you.
Oh, Goratrix. Good to see you as well. Sorry to hear about Edward. I know the three of you were very close as a unit. I reflect back on the hunting expedition I sent you on in London those years ago.
Yes.
You returned with Merlin and Sir Maddock. Well, at the time, he was but a boy.
Well remembered, sir. His smile is slightly pained.
Come.
Yes.
Come,
of course.
enjoy drink and food with me. We might as well. I doubt we'll be pressing any attack anytime soon. Well, with our numbers and all.
Quite so. And not to mention, I doubt we'll be defending the way they ran with their tails between their legs.
Indeed.
But speaking of our numbers, I confess I had been expecting our muster to be larger.
He looks about and he says, well, this is very much... Oh, you. You speak of the missing Duke.
I do. And please, do tell me if I'm overstepping. I am not one for the courtly fancies in general, but I cannot help but feel let down. perhaps betrayed. What is the matter between Uther and Gola? Why has he never been in battle with Salisbury when it's been needed?
He pauses with that. It's a difficult conversation, my boy. One that I would be happy to explain to you. But there are so many years, so I will be careful with this. It dates back to their childhood, really. You see, they both grew up in Brittany. In some ways, Gorlois was... well, he was King Ambrosius's second hand, much the same as Duke Ulfius is for our current king. Gorlois was King Aurelius's favorite. There was always a rivalry, they say, between the two. But speaking of Gorlois' current absence, the King of Cornwall returned notice to the muster. He said that the Irish were invading Cornwall at the time, and that they would not be able to spare the men.
I see. And with the understanding that there are many ears here, do you believe that to be the case? Seaborne invasions are tricky at the best of times, particularly with the Irish's lack of resources.
He leans in a bit. He's snacking on some bread, and he leans in.
Artrix is doing the same.
Gorlois is many things. A stubborn leader. They say he's ruthless at times. But a liar. Not outright. It does seem impossible, let's say, that he would have had so many excuses at every muster of Uther, and it's no secret that he did not vote for the king himself after Aurelius's death. So if you ask me, is he perhaps creating a distraction or diversion, or outright acting traitorously? It's not in Gorlois' reputation. The King of Cornwall is honorable. If he wasn't, I don't think that King Aurelius would have made him the figure he is. But I think he might be finding every opportunity possible not to assist King Uther to the high throne.
I understand. Not to assist, but not actively hinder. That is what you are saying, yes?
Yes. Not a traitor's act, but a careful politician, let's say. He does not want his rival to have unlimited power.
It seems the situation is more complex than I originally thought, but in many ways you have taken a weight off of my heart, Cellular. Thank you very much.
He pats you on the shoulder and says, we'll see what the kings decide, what our next move is. But for now, please enjoy yourself. So many are unable to be here with us. We must toast in their honor. He raises his glass to you. And there are a few other knights raise their glasses around you as well.
Gortrix does the same, near instinctively. But it's because there's so few people that Goratrix is having trouble enjoying himself.
Yeah.
He's an extrovert by nature. But he returns back to his friends, back to his table, particularly after more pleasantries with Sir Elad. He loves that guy. That guy's great.
Perfect. And we'll cut over to Dallin with that.
Well, first things first. Did you find anything of note?
Oh, I don't think we're gonna be able to quite do that. I think these will be like simultaneous, right?
Then in that case, I gotta figure out.
Oh, wait. Sorry, you wanted that to be a precursor though, and I didn't say no, so I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Yeah.
No, it's fine. The only thing was to justify Dallin maybe doing something else. I don't know what else Dallin can figure something out to do.
Sorry.
I know what to do. Dallin. Yeah. Okay. Dallin like to find out more about Mr. Square Shield, Mr. Man.
Okay.
I think that'll be a good thing to do.
Okay, and what's
other than the other bad idea I had?
What's your intrigue approach here? And I'm all for bad ideas. Make the game interesting.
Well, approach probably going to be along the lines of the tried and true. Enter a conversation with Matic and see who Matic's talking to, and then use that as an excuse to start talking about, hey, who's this guy over here that's got that look? Anybody know what his deal is? You know.
So you're gonna approach Matic? Did I hear that right?
Sure, I think that's I like Matic.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind catching up with him.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intrigue roll.
6 out of 17 success.
Okay. You find some time with the prince. He's wandering around and playing polite with some of the folks of both the other treated parties of knights. And you find him in a moment where he kind of steps off alone. He's definitely somber as well.
Matic?
Ah, Dallin.
Forgive me if I overstepped my bounds, but I wanted to see how you were doing.
There is no time to grieve when you are a king. And so it's a lesson I must learn as a prince.
It seems like an ungodly amount of weight to carry. Still, I won't bore you with the details. Should we talk about something feast-related?
Yeah, of course. Gives me a distraction from all the politics.
Politics. Anything specific of note you're trying to get away from? Seems like there's a lot going on up there.
The Centurion King would like to take this advantage and press the attack to drive off what's left. I know Father's answer already. He'll say no to this. We are a fraction of what we were as an army. Between you and I'm not sure who of the two is right. In some ways, I would love to see an end to these Saxons right here and now. But it is prudent to return to Logris and lick our wounds.
I see. Well, I do see wisdom in both approaches. On one hand, when our army was at full strength traveling through these lands, we very much met some strong difficulties. lost a lot of good people. And our army is far smaller and, might I say, considerably weaker morale. But on the other hand, it quite feels like a waste to turn back now, doesn't it?
It's not worth the speculation. I know what Father will say.
And perhaps there is wisdom in that, I suppose. You mentioned the king of where?
Oh, the king of here. Centurion King. King Harut.
King Haru. Is that the one with the white shield with the corner that's red?
No, that's King Lot from the north.
King Lot. Why does that name sound familiar to me?
He shakes his head. He's a boy king. And it wasn't so long ago that I was a boy traipsing through the woods with Merlin, so perhaps he will grow up to be a fine knight and king.
Aye, but... Well, as I said, seems like being king bears a tremendous weight. Still, it's good to have friends here, I suppose.
Indeed.
Amatic, No, never mind. Feel free to stop by our table should you want to break from the politics. I'm certain Sir Jaren will have some stories to tell you. Apparently he got quite into the fray. Oh, and I can also tell you about where I slashed Octa. I drew blood. That was pretty exciting.
He smiles with that. I would love to hear that story, friend. When there's time, of course.
Of course.
I will return to see, or I will visit your table shortly. Is Edward's brother there?
Aye, he is. The boy's... He's having some difficulty, but it's to be expected. They were all each other had, I think.
With that, Matic nods, and I'll say, see you soon then. And again, somber and quiet Matic, not his typical self, he wanders away.
Well, baby boy.
I just
Alright.
want to say, despite the somber end to that, the way you said, I drew blood, it's the same way you'd like tempt a kid to do something or go somewhere. There'll be
Right.
cake.
Right?
There's gonna be
There's ice
cake.
cream there. Ooh.
You want to get away from the politics?
Candy.
We've got war
I
stories.
almost killed a guy.
The sad thing is the number of people that would work for Jaren, work for Goratrix, work for...
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna cut over to Jaren for the final action this round.
All right, so Jaren, I'm gonna say, partially due to his injuries and his seething hatred for a new group of people, he's gonna stay mainly at the table, talking to Cadfael about the fight, and he's gonna touch on Sir Edward's fighting abilities. He's fought with them, kind of twice now. But, Jaren's a little full of himself, so ultimately it comes back to him. But I think I'm just going to do a feast card. Not going to talk to... He's not really going to go to anybody specific.
Okay, sure.
Let's draw one here. Oh.
The host with the toast.
Yeah.
Host calls for a toast. Do I do one card or two cards? Is it one?
You're at
Low
what,
level, I think.
2,000 glory now?
Yeah.
Over 2,000, but not 3,000.
You
I think it's
Yeah.
2 now, right? 2,000 glory.
Yep. 2, I believe it's 2,000.
But it is a host card, so you gotta take that one anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. Courtesy roll for everyone then.
Sad because I wanted to see him eat off with Jaren. That's the other
Yeah.
Goku moment.
He's just sulking at the table, eating all the food out of spite.
Oh, you can increase your size with that one? That's so good. I've been meaning to get my size up.
That's
So
funny.
apparently I've been going about it the wrong way. I've been going through exercise and physical therapy, but I could just eat a lot of food.
You just need to eat nothing but raw eggs and chicken for like a week straight.
I'll be roughly as big as a barn.
It actually does work though. It's called bulking. It's the thing. You can just eat a lot of food and burn less calories, and turns out those things have a lot in common with your weight. But
All right.
let's go ahead and do the toast. So I think this is a toast to the fallen and the end of the Saxons on this isle by King Herod. He says, "We have lost a great many today, what with the siege and with the ambush that Uther's men experienced on the way to the north, and I'd just like to say myself that none of them have died in vain, for a new alliance between the kings has been wedged, and together we will drive off the Saxons." He raises. There's a weird look in his eye. He looks at Uther, and Uther's slow to raise his glass, but he does raise. Lot is a bit quicker. The third king, he raises his glass, and others raise, and there's a moment of cheering. So what's the deal with this one? Winning character gets +2 geniality. So who is that?
That would be a CAD file, I think.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I think there's a maybe a local call from the Salisbury men that say Sir Edward, and because he's one of the more famous knights. Like, he's not famous, but one of the higher ranking knights that died. As far as
In fact, he was the least famous of the bunch.
he's famous of you three, but you were still over 3,000 glory when you died.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a renowned swordsman.
Yeah.
One of the best in the land.
Yeah, so he just didn't get a chance to necessarily prove it all before his death, but there is still like, I think at this point there's a general rumor that Edward died fighting King Eosa the Giant. So that's raising to your glory.
Are we not spreading that shit more actively? I guess. Yeah,
absolutely.
You've had about 12 hours to do so. So
That's fair.
All right. So at the end of this feast, like as that closes down, Maddock arrives at your table. We're gonna give you like a short minute to talk between the few of you, like just a lot of you here, and then Maddock will arrive.
Well spoken, Catfile. I was in my cups a little.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I couldn't. You did very good, boy. Thank you.
Sure. Jaren has been very deep in his cups at this point, and he nods vigorously and says, "Sir Edward would be remembered. We'll kill many Saxons in his name."
It's what he would have wanted.
Indeed, it would be.
Dallin gets up and leaves the table.
It's about this point as Dallin gets up to leave. I don't know. You can still blow past him, but Maddox is just arriving at the point that you go.
Fuck. No, you're right. Dallin would see Maddox and be like, ugh. Maddox, I was just coming to check on you. Please, join us.
I have to tend to some things, so I won't keep you all long. But I just wanted to say how well all of you fought. The rumors. He looks over to Jaren a minute and says, "Ah, yes, the knight from Roderick's ambush. Jaren, is it?"
Yes, my lord. And he wipes his mouth, which was dripping with whatever ale he was drinking. He's setting the mug down. Yes, my father lost him there. Another ambush. These Saxons. I'm not sure how they keep ambushing us, but we'll get them back.
Aye, we will. Maddox then kind of his attention looks to Dallin and Goratrix and says, "I would ask a favor as the prince and your friend, that one of you take on Cadfael here and see him through the remainder of his training. He has but, 1 or 2 years remaining," he says. It's a rhetorical question. He doesn't actually care how much longer. And then he continues and says, "I had intended to offer Edward a spot in replacing my fallen friends in my honor guard. And since he, too, has met his end, I would like to pay that honor and respect to his brother when he is ready. Cadfael, you will be joining me once you have been knighted. But until then, I wish that you remain with the good stock of Salisbury."
It would be my honor, my prince. He would bow.
It will be ours as well, Godric says to Maddox.
"Edward told me you're good with the sword. Is this true?"
Yes, my lord. He has done well to train me.
"Then I ask that you continue this training. You will be facing more peril in my honor guard."
Sir, with vigor and honor, my lord.
And with that, Maddox turns and says, "Good. We'll return home to Logriston soon." And yeah, I think he'll walk away. I'd like to propose we jump from the scene at that point, from the whole feast, and I think there's a few things to figure out here, and I'd like to do this on camera as we close into what is probably our final scene. What were you gonna say, Thomas? You have something?
Good for
I
me.
was going to say one thing, to Dallin before he stormed off, which was just mostly Godric's looking at him with puppy dog eyes and going, "Should we talk about who trains him?" And then I'm just imagining Dallin turning and needing some air.
Yeah, second Maddox is gone, Dallin is out. So it's up to you, buddy. You got that decision to make.
Yeah. No, he was saying that as you were turning, and he trails off into nothing, just looking after his friend. And
Okay.
"We'll sort it out," he says to Cadfael.
Right.
So we'll cut that scene there. Now we're gonna do a little bit of just outside narration to figure this out. So, and we'll bring up the old map just to kind of talk about things. So
Map time.
If there's a place we gotta go, it's the one we need to know.
yeah.
It's the map.
Map time.
By the way, Lot would be from up here on the map. Lothian.
I will note that I know it. Never mind, it has come in.
I see it.
Yeah.
Lothane?
Yeah.
He's all the way fucking up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up past the wall.
Getting-
He's in
That's
Scotland.
basically Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting pretty
Yep.
close to those fucking Picts.
Yeah.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones I'm racist against. It hasn't come up yet in the campaign, but it will.
Well, there are some that live here, so
Yeah.
when I'm gonna make this visible because otherwise others can't see it. I didn't have the stream on the map. I had them on the narration point. So we have a pesky matter with Huntland County and Humblecreek to deal.
Yes, we do indeed.
And I think we need to figure out. I don't want to push to. I mean, I think things are leading to a duel. We've set it in and out of character in different ways. Is there any sort of conditions or any attempts by Dallin or Goratrix to sway this in any particular way?
Goratrix doesn't know how. The friend who was making it so that it wouldn't end in blood, has fallen, and all of the plans to have fallen through. Goratrix is, now that the war is over, and now that he's lost a friend, he's fine with one more knight falling, whosoever it might be, but it's probably the enemy. He would like to talk to, let's say, the lady whose honor was besmirched by him beforehand, whether it be in private or preferably in private, just as a last way to impotently explain how sorry he is before everything goes down.
And Dallin will advise against that. They'll make it happen if Goratrix, they'll make an attempt to help make that happen if Goratrix insists. But otherwise, they say you should just focus on winning the duel. Everything will come after, and they'll actually stay at at Winterbourne Stoke if they're allowed to, and just help spar with Goratrix as often as possible, get him into fighting shape.
Dylan is absolutely welcome to stay at Winterbourne Stoke Manor. Goratrix will. Shall we do this in RP or just broad stroke stuff?
I'm good with either.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of this in RP, I think, and then we'll come back out.
My main concern with that, everything happening after, I don't want to die with things left unsaid, and I especially don't want to apologize for killing her brother. In addition to everything else, it seems wrong. More wrong than the whole situation is.
If I may, Goratrix, I'm
Please.
afraid it's well past optimal. The situation, I don't see a way out of it that doesn't result in one of those two options. And while I appreciate you wanting to do the right thing is far in the past. So, now, rather than bring yourself to a compromising position in their home again, I'm asking you as your friend to focus instead on making sure that you have the chance to deliver an apology, whether it's the one that she should have or not.
Goratrix thinks about it for a moment, and he'll nod and say, I understand. I wish I hadn't let it go this far. I wish I hadn't started it. Shh.
You did what you could, and that's enough.
Not yet. Not yet, anyway. And Goratrix will get back into a ready stance and continue the sparring. Goratrix is pretty good at swording. but
Indeed.
welcomes any chance to sharpen his skills, so to speak.
Yeah, Dallin isn't really even able to keep pace, but they are a competent enough fighter
Yeah.
that it's probably at least a little valuable.
Very much so.
Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so this is a call for a duel to the death between Sir Hyrule of Humblecreek Manor in Huntland County and Sir Goratrix of Winterbourne Stoke in Salisbury. The call is for it's kind of like a formal. This thing hasn't been seen between two knights in a sanctioned way like this in Logres since Uther's time, because he's only been here. I mean, you guys have been here. You guys were playing the game when Uther's coronation occurred, right? So,
woo!
Yeah.
Salisbury #1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's decided that the way Logres will fight duels to the death, should they come up, is through a joust followed by a melee, right? So
Oh fuck.
So
Gotcha.
it's I mean, it could end on the horse or it could end on the ground. It just depends. The honorable thing for the like, if someone is knocked from their horse, then it's to continue on the ground. And because there is no first blood here, and there's no, this is to the death. It's a yield is execution still. There is no backing out of it after it started.
Do they have to execute them after they yield?
It is the honorable thing to do.
Gotcha.
Does Goratrix have to nominate a second in the event that something happens or whatever?
No, but there would be representatives to support both sides. It's not quite like the a seppuku or anything in that sense. You would be nominating a squire, because you potentially have two.
Sure.
Right now, Cadfile or
Cadfile competitive.
And just to let you know, Cadfile's rolling on 19 and Edith's rolling on what, 16 or 15? 16, I think. Right? So
I believe so. Let me quickly check.
Is Jaren invited? Can Jaren
16.
be
Oh,
invited?
Jaren's.
Oh yeah.
So
Jaren's there and he's pumped for Salisbury. He's got the Salisbury boys hat on.
Yeah, Salisbury boys.
So I'm gonna give Jaren some
got the
interesting
jersey and
things,
everything.
right? Let me just get through some additional explanation. This is the first built. London is now crafted a first formal jousting. What do they call that? What do they call the actual physical space for a joust? Tilt? Arena?
Yeah, tilt. I think a tilt.
Yeah.
Tilting grounds.
Tilting grounds. There you go.
Yeah.
Tilting grounds. It's actually called the Tilting Grounds, though, spoiler, that won't become famous until the Boy King, right? So the Boy King period is like the time of the real jousting, but this one will exist. Can
we name it the Goratrix Fuck Up Memorial Memorial Tilt?
You can call it whatever you want. There are a large number of knights in attendance for this, right? It's the summer. It's been about 2 months since the war ended, the battle ended, for proper healing to occur for any wounds that would have been taken. So you will be full health for this, Goratrix.
Wasn't damaged.
Right, you weren't. Your opponent will also be full health. Humblecreek Manor is one of the seats that's in attendance at the front. You know, the front is reserved for friends and family. Sir Jareth of Newton Manor is seated with his friends in Humblecreek.
Indeed.
And Sir Jaren is seated, I assume, with his friends in
Salisbury.
Salisbury.
Aw, thanks, buddy. We appreciate you coming and supporting us.
Oh, Jaren's hyped. He initially got pulled into this whole thing way back when, and he just wants it to be done. He's like, Why can't they kill each other now? Like, what are we doing?
Why are they starting on horses? Just do the swords. Like, let's just
Your
go.
your introduction began with, "I'll fight the duel. Which side?"
So, unless someone volunteers to get off the horse after someone's fallen or whatever, or there's some kind of agreement between the two of you, the general idea would be go until someone is unhorsed, so the knockdown has been reached for the hit. Otherwise, you remain. The squires are there to replace your spears that shatter, similar to. So every time you roll
Odd number.
Yeah.
Odd damage. Yeah.
Is it damage or is it odd?
It's odd damage.
Odd damage.
Odd damage. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so why don't we kind of set the scene here? It's a filled arena. There are knights from familiar faces, pretty much everyone that's survived that you're familiar with. You see multiple dukes are in attendance. Ulfius, your count is here, of course. The child count is here, Jaren. He's now 6. and of course sitting with they're sitting in support of Humblecreek along with the Baroness Pomponia, the one that helped him along. Humblecreek Manor is seated together. Cadfraud, as well as the twins and Sir Every, stand here. All right.
So, I've been leading up to this for a little while now, and it would be equally in character for me to succeed on it and fumble. I would like to activate my passion for this, just leading up to it.
Okay.
And I would like to use my love of family. A new challenge has been made, Sir Jared. But yes, I would like to roll love of family. On a 20, Goretrix has a mental breakdown.
That would be a really imagine him just riding off on his own tournament. Like, what would that do?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck this.
But they should be my family. What's going on? That is a success.
Okay.
So yes, Goretrix, here's why he's doing it. He's doing it for his family and nothing else, basically. His own honor by the wayside. These people, they were the ones who, when they sought reparations, they basically asked for all of Winterbourne Stoke's money and lands, and that can't happen. That's why this is happening. That's why it has to happen. That's why someone has to die.
As Goretrix rides in, you see Sir Hyrule is present. He's the one you'll be facing, not his son, right? He has a look of determination on his face, and you can sense the ire and just his frustration and anger towards you as you ride in. It's clear.
If Goretrix hadn't made this passion roll, he wouldn't be meeting his eyes, but that frustrated, determined glare is met with one that's resigned. Just, this is happening. No, whatever doubts he left, rather, whatever doubts he's feeling, he left at the entrance to the arena. He's going to do this and then worry about other things later.
Got it. Sir Hyrule will be invoking his honor for this. That is what's driving him.
Oh!
Are you sure about that?
That's rough. That's incredible.
I need to think how madness would play out here. Because melancholy makes sense, but what madness would do, actually, what's a 19 do? Does it drive you into melancholy? When you have a 19
let me check.
with our 6E rules? Or is it madness or melancholy? If it's madness, we just need to make this make sense. I don't want it to feel cheesy. So we just gotta find a good, like, it would make sense for a protagonist knight to like get like lose.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But God, can you just
I was wrong.
Yeah. As a 19, he's melancholy for 1d6 plus 5 days and lose 1 point of passion. If it were one more, yes, he would go. He would. No, wait, hold on.
Madness.
No,
it is madness.
Yeah, it is madness. Famous passion 16
It's
to 19.
madness.
1d6 plus 5 days, lose point of passion. But yeah, I know exactly what my madness would have been if I had gotten it. It would have just been so many conflicting different drives in his mind, and he would have just left. But for this guy, on his honor, does he...
Wait, was this the
does
guy
he know
that Edward had a conversation with?
No, this is his father.
Okay.
Does he
never
know
mind then.
that? Does he know that Goratrix, as well as the Favoured Sons in general, saved his daughter? Maybe that's why. Maybe he can't reconcile that whole, but they saved my house from being raided, with this man defiled her. But
alternatively, he could just go mad and just try and kill you before the tournament.
That would be better for me.
Okay, let me do one thing. I'm gonna test 2 things for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna test
pressure of the situation has got to be immense regardless too, like
yes,
looking like once you're on the horse and you're like, I am seconds away from potentially dying, and there's a crowd of people that are cheering and or just watching in dead silence. Either I'm not sure which one's worse.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a good feeling in the air that there's a chance that a civil war might break out because of this.
He turns to the Salisbury part of the stands and says, I'm going to challenge all of you at the same time right now.
Okay, we're testing vengeful versus prudent, and this will describe how he goes mad.
Okay. Okay.
Prudence succeeds.
So, as you both begin to set yourselves in preparation for the tilt, you see him pull off his helm, and he throws it to the ground. He drops his spear, pulls his sword, and throws it, heaves it into the middle of the tilt, and rides off on his horse.
Goratrix, this is the one thing that could have phased him at this point. He expected to die, he expected to kill him. He does not expect that, so still with his helmet on, lance held in his hand, like one hand on his horse to go and get up, he just watches Sir Hyrule, mouth open behind his helm, as he just sees him go, and he looks at the crowd to see if they're seeing it too.
There's a lot of that eruption of gossip that happens, and it sounds just like an echo chamber. That's happening right now.
If you see,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, if you see Dallin just like catches eyes with you and just shrugs like, "What the fuck just happened? That just happened?
Yeah.
It just happened."
Yeah, Jaren has stood up from his seat. He's just with his arms going wide, like looking around the crowd. Do we have to wait longer? I can't wait longer. We've waited so long.
I don't know. What just happened?
Goratrix is going to look towards the. Who is master of ceremonies in this? Is there a duke or a king in attendance?
There's a herald, right? The herald of the king.
Goratrix is going to put the lance onto the little holster on his horse, and he's going to approach the herald and go, What's going on? What's happening? What do I do?
They usher you like as you go to approach it. He's like, sit tight. We'll announce what to do soon.
See, this is.
Right.
I think Dallin approaches at the same time. What just happened? What's happening? Does he win?
No, he just looked at me and went away. I'm somewhat glad, but I feel I should wait. Maybe he will return. This is unusual.
I feel like this is why we need seconds for these kinds of things, you know? Like, I mean, I'm glad that there's no fighting happening, but also, like, not if it means that we're just gonna have to do this again in a month or 2 months or whatever. What's happening?
Goratrix looks
Sir
so
Goratrix.
lost and confused.
Sir Goratrix, I have your new lance ready, but do I need to have it ready? Should I wait? Should I put this down? What am I doing?
Just hold tight for a little bit, same as the herald said. Just lean it against a wall or something. I'm sure something will be done soon. Goratrix is like, he's going to look up to the Humblecreek people.
They look.
What are they
look
looking like?
distraught. Like all of them are. And you actually catch a bit of frustration in Sir Jareth's face.
Oh, is that so?
And it's like the opposite on Jaren's face. He has a smile as he's walking over.
Yeah.
God, if only Perrin was here, Perrin would have a great idea. But Dallin is very much not Perrin.
You see the reputation of Salisbury Knights. Can't even fight us. Can't even fight. Winter drinks. Are they bringing the drinks out? Jaren's looking around with a smile now.
Dallin elbows Jaren and kind of like nods towards where their brother is sitting. Like, hey, don't look too happy. Your brother's sporting, you know. Like,
Jaren looks up to his brother and gives a little wave, but a shrug at the same time.
attaboy.
At that point, the herald, Sir Sadinal, he rises to the podium to speak, and the rumors start to, or all the gossip starts to quiet. The roar of gossip. He says, "It seems things have played out in a way in which we have not anticipated. As a result, the victory of this duel to the death will go to Sir Goratrix of Winterbourne, Stoke. His opponent is now, by right, a life forfeit to the death that he deserved for the duel which he accepted and demanded. These are the rules of the king. We realize and recognize that all of you have come so far to watch this, and so the king humbly offers. May you join him in a feast this eve to discuss and, sorry, he wouldn't have said discuss. Join him in a feast to celebrate our recent victories against the Saxons and leave this trouble behind us. Go ahead and list, why don't you all, you can all do like an intrigue roll on this, just to see what this could mean, right? Because they're basically making him an outlaw, so there's a whole bunch of things that you could potentially pull from what does this mean for someone who is a, okay. I love that Jaren has no idea. I just love that idea.
Jaren is so bad at it.
Does that mean I can kill him? Oh,
critical!
Yeah. Tag that.
Hell yeah.
Cat file.
That's how you claim knighthood by being killing a knight.
15 out of 17 success, and also, Bob, I might need to restart my computer real fast. So you can like we can figure out what the intrigue does. But
Okay, hold
I
on.
might need to take a 5-minute real.
Why
Yeah.
don't we're almost done, Zach? Just letting you know, so we're not keeping you too long. I think we're real close to closing. But why don't we take a short couple minutes while Liam goes? I'm gonna switch the loading page here so it doesn't mess everything up, and I'll see you guys back in a couple minutes.
Sorry, everybody. I'll be right back.
All right, we are back, and we have everyone together. So, what were we doing? We were resolving the intrigue. Is that what we're doing?
Correct.
Yes.
There's lots of discussion, and I think the critical means Cadfile is the first to ask the question, like, will the consequences then fall to the family as well? How does this work? Something of those sort. There's lots of discussion about, will Humblecreek change hands now? Does this forfeit their right as vassalage, right? Because the vassalage is by Lord, and Lord would then, like, none of you guys are bound to your houses. It wouldn't be wrong for Roderick to displace one of you and put another knight in there. It would be 100% within his purview as your lord. There are like formal ancestral claims to things in which you're not allowed to do that, but this is not one of them, likely. I forget that there's actual lineage, or like this is all broken down in the Book of Warlords. I explain all that. So at this point, I'm going to make it a little more dramatic. It's Pendragon. We need drama. Sir Avery's going to walk over.
Oh. Goratrix will turn. He's still in that mindset, even though it was jarred by everything that's happened, and he gives him a nod. Sir Avery.
He's trying to maintain his composure, but he's quite upset. He keeps that from you to the best of his ability, and he says, "He heard of your honor on the battlefield. I don't know what drove him to this madness, but you should know that before he came out here, he asked me if I thought he was doing the right thing. And I will be honest with you, I told him yes.
There is nothing that I can do or say to make what has happened will happen right, but I am sorry. I truly am. Your father is a good man.
I think as you begin talking about him, and you get, your father is a good man, he cuts you off right there. He says, "Do not speak of him. Enough is enough. You've won this day, sir. Honorable sir."
Right.
There's tense emotions, but Every is known for his honor. It's one of his famous traits, and he turns and leaves. I think just for like a dramatic moment, you see the lady Rianne. You see the twins,
Yes.
but one of them has a little toddler daughter that's walking beside her.
Is it unusually large for her age?
Hard to determine. Was it 3 years ago? I don't remember.
But yeah, Goratrix 100%. His eyes seek them out, and he looks at the child, and love of his family is why he was ready to do this battle, and that's exactly why, if he meets their gazes, he can't meet it for long. He averts his eyes, looks down to the ground, shamefaced.
Anyone want to add anything before we close? I think this is kind of the closing moments here.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our second to last episode. We'll be wrapping up with the winter of Salisbury Court. We shall see what happens. It's been an awesome game. I love not knowing what's going to happen. I'd written plans for this to go a couple different ways, and this was not one of them. So, oops. I'll definitely take advantage of the next little while to figure out what reactions and such are to this. I think Goratrix had a very high risk, high reward in front of him. I think some of the consequences are without that risk, that reward might be off the table now. But I need to think about that. But in the meantime, I just wanted to say, if you're still with us from the raid, it was great having the raid from the Goblin Cave TV. Appreciate that, and thank you for joining. I've been Bob, and I think we lost Thomas. Oh, he fell.
He's dead.
He's dead.
No,
he's already dead. Thanks for watching, and next episode will be our last. Chime in to see the conclusion of Pendragon, Favoured Sons. Thomas.
Hello, my name is Thomas. I've been Goratrix of House Winterbourne, Stoke, and Goratrix, laden with honor and glory, and having defended his house's reputation successfully, feels it leaves a strange taste in his mouth. But yes, especially with so much lost along the way.
Mark.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy-dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. You can see all our shit posting, get notifications when we're going live or doing other shit, and possibly be able to join and do bits and pieces in our community. You can find the link to the Discord on Twitch, though it has been notified to us that it's actually no longer working, the one that you put on there. It's expired, so we might need to check the other links.
We shall fix that, indeed. Yeah.
But you'll be able to find a link either on our YouTube channel here, or, I'm sure someone will post it in the chat at some point.
Indeed.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I have been Mark, playing Cadfile, and I'll hopefully see you guys next week.
Liam.
I am Liam. I have been Sir Dallin of Durnford. And once again, just an excellent session. I'm gonna miss Dallin so much as we're closing out this prologue, but I'm also very excited to play Perrin in next set of the campaign, and it's just watching back a lot of the episodes that we did to lead up to here. It's just very exciting to see our humble beginnings and how far we've gone, and think about how far we'll continue to go. So thank you for those who have joined us, and I look forward to seeing you again in the finale.
Awesome. And last but not least, our guest, Zach.
And I'm Zach. I've played Sir Jaren of Newton Manor, and as always, I love playing with you guys when I have the opportunity. It's always a mystery what's going to happen, especially when jumping straight into the drama when I've been out of an episode or two. And it's always fun to actually participate in the drama instead of watching it. It's a new experience, and I'm glad I get to have it.
And thank you for coming. It's been awesome to play with all you guys. I really enjoyed this one, even with its very somber beginning. It was a reeling introduction to tonight. It was really good. I appreciate all the emotion that went into Edward's death. I'm going to go ahead and close here. We'll have more information about what we're doing after we close out with the Favoured Sons. We are going to continue Pendragon, and it will be a continuation of the events that these folks have built and what we've built together as a group. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Well.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.